Okie dokie. I think I did that right. I may not have done that right. I may or may not have done that right. I did not do that. No, still no. Something has changed. Good evening, Gotham. Good evening, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, as the case may be. 1 a.m. in New York, 9 a.m. in Moscow, 3 p.m. in Tokyo, and well, it's 10 p.m. in Sherman Oaks. Good evening, everybody. 10 p.m. here in Denver, Colorado. A very interesting take on the headlines of a news cycle I'll call 36 hours. We are approaching the end of the St. Patrick's Day holiday 317 in the Rocky Mountains, as it's already tomorrow, of course, in New York City and beyond, elsewhere on the East Coast. Regarding initially President Zelensky's address to Congress and the United States, President Zelensky has now had another address with the German parliament. But amongst all of other that, several pages of notes of concerning consequence by yours truly. In the meantime, I've had several conversations with you who've expressed their desire. You want me to go play with, more flammable materials and power tools. Okay. No, it was the point of, I have a feeling even the left is going to say, hey, not green, not green. I know it's a green bottle. It's not green enough. And in the world of law, Chelsea Smollett's been released. Okay. Is going to caddy for OJ. While OJ looks for for Freudian, while he was looking for the other glove. I mean, the killers. Jussie can help him with a sand wedge once in a while. And then, a sand wedge, not a sandwich. And, you know, find his attackers. And some book deals and speaking engagements on what a victim he is. Um, California gas is now at $6.11 a gallon. California is trying to explain, hold on, but the national gas average is only $4.31 or $4.38, depending upon where you are in the news cycle right now. The governor being urged, of course, to drop the 51-cent state gas tax, has denied that request for your own good. Last year, it was only $8.8 billion we collected in tax revenue. We can't afford that right now. We're sorry. He didn't say that. He just denied the. Maybe they could give you a rebate. California, allegedly. When talking about the peace process as the war in Ukraine enters week 4. That's how the media is spinning it. 21 days has September, April, June, and no wonder that's 31. Well, that's 4 weeks. 28 days plus. Oh, Colorado, how can we save the average family money on, oh, God. Breathe, Timothy. Sorry, I'm Scooter McGee. Find me on the World Wide Web, scootermcgee.com. On Twitter, I'm the Scooter McGee. On Facebook, I don't know why, Scooter McGee, and you could support the desperate cry for help from an unknown bunker by supporting the show on Patreon, Scooter McGee. Um, the Biden administration, along with explanations of Putin's fault for record gas prices, is price gouging, and that a team of investigators is looking into. I need a Coke and a smoke for timing. A putting together a team of investigators and the crack staff, of course, regarding investigating big, evil, greedy oil corporations price gouging. Speaking of the crack staff, turns out Biden's laptop was a true story. Remember in the good old days, Lucy had some explaining to do, and they get the scene where Lucy get bent over Ricky's lap, but I don't think he actually hit her. Oh, we're well past. You got a lot of splaining to do, Lucy. With you know, we're going to investigate the evil oil corporations. It's their fault. They're price gouging. Wow. Continued calls, even though President Biden took a lap in the park yesterday for giving Ukraine another $800 million after earlier in the last week, beginning of this week, because it's only, wait a minute, Thursday. Yeah, I mean, the 1 point whatever 4 billion went out the door on Friday. Here's another 800 million more. Again, when first reported, I said, hey, Putin said, you're going to keep funding this. Everything's a target. No sooner does President Biden announce more money, indiscriminate shelling by the Russians, the madman Putin. They struck a drama theater that was being used as a refugee center where they had kids, children, clearly marked in the parking lot. You know, the first casualty of war is not the truth. The first casualty of war is quite often in historic times dozens, if not hundreds, of innocent civilians, and the truth is silenced by minimizing those numbers. That's the real fog of war, not the media misrepresenting and massaging, because it was 3/8 2022. This is St. Patrick's Day. I do not have a short term memory, equally so because I have all my notes. When Russia had to announce 498 dead soldiers. We've had no updated numbers since then. There's no even media speak about it. They had to sneak it out. Why? Because body bags were coming back to Mother Russia. How do you explain this away with social media? Oh, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. Oh, they got other problems right now. They're not going to report reports on the ground of real sources and independent sources that are still managing to get communications out. We're looking at well over 10,000 dead, which means the ratio just by the head count by mainstream news is 10-1. It's over 10-1. It might be closer to 12-1. The Western media also wants to continue to allege that, and I have a couple of the quotes. Excuse me, I got to really see Coca-Cola is not the same. This generic crap is crap. Yeah, it does not do the same thing. Um, the 800 million. The continued calls now by Zelensky from America, fighter jets, more weapons, and continued calls for a no fly zone. Addressing German parliament, asking for help stopping Russia from creating a new Berlin Wall. Okay. Zelensky also said to Germany, when it comes time to funding and weapons and standing up and security versus the economic impact to individual countries, choose security versus economy. Okay. The Western media is obsessed with calling Putin a madman. He's out of his mind. The attacks are barbaric. They are senseless. They are targeting civilians. Okay, we all get to stop now and have a cigarette. And we get to check the archives of everything I've said, because I'm going to tell you when. In the first week, where the maps are the maps without statistics yet, I laid out what the Soviet era playbook is. You don't have to go door to door and destroy all the cities. Society's been conditioned to quarantine and shelter in place. You just have to choke off the cities. And, you're going to sadly starve them to death. No, you're not. Because I also explained you need to put snipers in those towns. Oh, no. Again, in the Soviet play, but that was the other. So mine was the U.S. Army War College. In the Russian textbooks, you indiscriminately shell the village. Now, if that village happens to have a 500,000 people in it, well, it has 500,000 people in it. In the old days, the villages were smaller, but you just shell them. Where's the village? Coordinates. Well, the coordinates are not all that important. Shell them. Which again is explaining the low flying bombers, the fighter bombers. Where again, what we have not seen is the here they come. Why? Because they're way up there, which means what they're dropping, we really don't need the shockwave we're dropping. You can reach us and take us down. The psychological impact of the jet fighter bombers flying at low altitude at sub Mach and shaking everything in incredibly intimidating. Also, reconnaissance wise, doesn't matter what the satellites are showing you. Now, this was all also presuming that they, who, we, Freudian slip. Good evening, comrades in arms. This is all encoded just for you. It's every fifth word. The dog is in the corner. Sniffing out the corner to see if there's a BA2 variant. You have to choke out the city. In the Soviet playbook, indiscriminate shelling. In my playbook, again, shelling innocent and yeah, it's costly. And you take you know what you need is you need a sniper. And I need X number. If I'm going to take 12 cities, I need X number of snipers for a reason of rotation that is beyond bizarre. It is so out of the box thinking that the Pentagon went, he's crazy. Yeah, but it's brilliant. But the purpose of the sniper is not, again, to the back of the head, the front of whatever side you're going to hit your target with. It is the absolute crushing morale capabilities, just destroys it. And the video footage showing those who are defending Mother Ukraine against evil Mother Russia. They keep looking for the horror and the tragedy and the bombing in the village when the reporters are, wow, everybody at the checkpoint and they're smiling. Why? Because they're taking out Russians 10-1. Just saying, it's interesting headlines. U.S. President Biden is going to speak with President Xi of China on 3/18 of 2022. That's tomorrow. And has gone on record earlier today, now officially, behind a podium with something that looks like an American flag. that in fact President Putin is a war criminal. He's declared him a war criminal officially after the media boxed him in the corner yesterday that I reported last night in the gaggle. That's not what he said. Well, now they got him on record saying it. And he said in the press conference regarding that, where he got in the corner, well, let's paint him more into a corner. There will be serious consequences if China steps in to help Russia. Um, National Security Advisor pointing out they really want to go to war, don't they? It's going to be a long and drawn out war in Ukraine. No one's declared war. Congress can't figure out if we declare we're good on the. I told you there was something up. We're good on changing the time zone. Hey, you want to change the clock? That's fine. You want a nickel for anything or you want to change anything else? We are out of here. Oh, you mean none of you read the bill? Glad to hear it. Maybe you can vote on giving people who drive a car a rebate for buying gas. The Russian military appears to be stalled. They've been reporting that for 7 days straight. Is the convoy, well, again, pictures of stuff destroyed and blown out? The strategery. I need the snipers in those towns. Why? All of this mechanized. That was the first thing in December when he started doing, well, November. But now, when all this chatter is in December about all of the Soviet operations going on in Belarus, in the old days of the Cold War, everything is positioned where it is for a reason. You move those, we're going to move these. You do this, and we're coming in. And this disguise of military exercises, because NATO is stepping up their military exercises in the East, in Eastern Europe. We had a boat out in the Gulf of Tonkin. Let's put them all next to each other and start playing with them. White House, the oil companies, week 4. Dr. Fauci's back. Oh, you're going to be shocked. I was. Um, the stall of the Russians. Tactical. Absolutely. Um, Media can't seem to understand. They seem to be using older, cruder weapons. Yeah, Cold War stuff. I, in the initial of what we can start seeing, oh, those are just, here comes the, all right. Remember Apocalypse Now, and we need some napalm over there, and those things that drop and tumble, and instead of napalm, go boom. They got all kinds of those. See, we all have smart weapons and tactical, and they go down the street and take a left before they hit their target. The Russians don't. They don't need that. They need the thing that comes down and does as much damage as humanly possible, so everybody in there will get the hell out of there. Restaurants are appearing to reopen. The world awaits to see if Kyiv will survive or will it be taken over. And if it's taken over, does that bring the world into World War III? As the war enters week 4, what war is this? Anybody declare it yet? Because you're supposed to declare an evil, an atrocity. No, Congress and the White House, they're busy with other things. We'll have a phone call with him tomorrow, and I'll tell him that there'll be serious consequences. Oh, you will. Dr. Fauci is back in the news. 11, watch your numerology. 11 million new cases of the BA2 variant have been discovered in 3 different areas: the Asian Pacific Theater, the African Theater, and the European Theater. 11 million new cases. Meanwhile, the Congress, and well, we're going to need more money. $22.5 billion for more COVID money, for relief money and education and discovery and research, and so we can be prepared for the next variant. Gets better. People don't want to go back to masks. We need this money. Dr. Fauci, will the $22.5 billion be enough to do the? Oh no, we need more, but we need the 22.5 billion. Holy, holy. And to NBC News and Lester Holt, I really want to thank you on St. Patrick's Day 31722. I beg all of you to watch the last 3 minutes of the NBC Nightly News of the tragedy and horror of the last 3 years, where 33 different natural disasters FEMA hasn't paid for. They didn't deem them big enough. They need more money. 33 disasters denied in the last 3 years by FEMA regarding, natural disasters, tornadoes, floods. It gets better. I'm going to scare the hell out of them. Fultondale, Alabama starts the scene, and a resident and a town official, one of the townsfolk, looking out at an otherwise barren wasteland of wreckage, pointing at the number of houses they can see with a naked eye that aren't rebuilt, people's hopes unable to heal. 33 in 3 years. We need money for facilities and research. More people died in all of these. More people dead in the 33 disasters in the 3 years that couldn't happen to have maybe died. You know, uh, I don't know. He's just asking. Am I allowed to ask? No, I'm sorry. FEMA needs more money now. Which just the other day, didn't I point out a headline that made no sense? FEMA announced. Where was it? Where was it? Because I always put FEMA in big letters because they're creepy. Put this here. You people think I make this up. I have no. Believe me, I don't. FEMA. Damn it. I'm going to find it. Had to do with funerals. And it was called something. I don't remember. I remember writing it down so I wouldn't forget. Yell at me. Raised 11 damn children. What the? It was really older than that? I thought it was a couple days. 313. Maybe that was at 313. I'm wondering it could have been 11 though, but I'm looking. Why am I looking? Why don't I make them look? No, because what's her? I almost said that word was here in Denver on a different day. I pointed out FEMA spent $2 billion during COVID on funerals, but they called it something. You guys are going to have to go back and find it because I'm wasting your time now, which was not my intention here. Damn it. Here, I found it. FEMA said it spent $2 billion in COVID funeral assistance, is what they called it. Now, let's get back. Here we go. Smoky treat time. Thank you, God. Fire. Soda. Okie dokie. Now I flipped through because I wanted to stay on path with Zelensky. Zelensky, we left off President Zelensky addressing the German parliament and telling them that they have to forego their economy for security. We all need security. I need a no fly zone. I need Germany to help Ukraine and create an iron curtain for Russia for Ukraine's security. Again, the Western media reporting indiscriminate bombing, barbaric tactics. It's Putin's fault and the evil oil corporations. And the war crimes. Well, war is a crime. It's a hate war crime. You think they could get you there? Watch. We have a dead American. Oh, finally, we have a victim. We can have statues for that victim and new laws to prevent this tragedy from ever happening again. An American over in Ukraine was killed while waiting for bread in a food line. Don't know how that's going to play out for you, but if only they'd been holding a tasty kitten. The new variant is around the corner, and there's not enough data yet, but this one could really be a wallop. Oh, Jesus, H, you know who want a popsicle stick. You got to be kidding me. The number reported officially by Ukraine of the civilians dead as of 3 midnight on the 16th, morning of the 17th, 726 people dead. Estimates now well over 10,000 Russians are dead from the military exercises that the Russian army conducted in Ukraine. Comrades, the spring is going to be beautiful. The blossoms will come up from the ground. Just need to make sure I got everything else. FEMA needs more money. Yeah, they sure do. We are going to need 30. Here's some more numbers coming from the World Health Organization. Get pissed at me. My rough estimate, according to the last U.S. Census, 330 million Americans. Check. 1 million dead from COVID. Check. I need to go look in the dictionary of the words manic and epic. And here I see those, what disproportionate set of numbers are these here? 33 million? No, no, no. 333. No, roughly 330 million Americans. Check. How many dead? According to who? I see. I still like the FEMA story better. That we need more money for disaster relief because we had to deny 33 other disasters in the last 3 years. We had to deny them their money. I think that's amusing. I really do. I I think the numerology and the evil around all of those little corkscrew and ice holes and how they're just pulling the wool over your eyes. Um, our eyes. I don't know how this works. Uh, that is it. We got through them again together. They weren't good. They're not bad. They're not my fault. It's what they're reporting. Now imagine what they're going to report tomorrow because it's a phone call we're never going to be allowed to hear. President Biden and President Xi. Remember now, President Xi is the guy who gave President Putin the plans, shared our intelligence. Now Biden's going to have a serious phone call with him. And there's going to be serious consequences if China decides to provide aid to Russia. Okay, if you say so, Skippy. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Again, thanks for being a part of the number one podcast that nobody knows about and even fewer people watch. You can support this endeavor on Patreon. I'm Scooter McGee. Same name on Facebook, Scooter McGee. And find all of the headlines I cover every night, 1 a.m. Eastern, live, right here on YouTube. Um, the Scooter McGee on Twitter. And all of that should be bundled up here in a nice little package over at scootermcgee.com. Questions, comments, concerns, you know, complaints. There are no refunds. There might be a rebate, however. Any of you demanding a rebate who can't spell it, those requests and submissions will automatically be denied. So hopefully we'll get a pile of 33 of those, and then we'll select one out of there, and we'll read they're going to be denied and throw that back in the trash. Okey doke. Don't throw this in the trash. Like it, save it, share it with your friends or enemies, or do what you need to do. Be well, be safe. I'll see you every night or morning, 1 a.m. Eastern. Good night, everybody. Be well and be safe.